Hey everybody, welcome to the Morning Devo with Bowo, and that is some tunes, man, this morning, 7:22 a.m. So it is kind of early for me, and but this is my devotion, and I'm going to get into it a little bit early today, and it's a cool psalm, Psalm 37. So if you've never joined me in my devotions, this is kind of my devotion time, where I like to get in the Word and I go through it actually by book. I just go boop, 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 and keep going. And then, lo and behold, you're done with the whole thing. So a lot of people go, man, I've never read the Bible, I've never done that, gosh, it's been amazing to put the Bible center in my life. And so many different kind of mind alterations go as you just put it center and just simply read and think through it a little bit. Full paradigm shifts take place. It's amazing what happens. But a lot of our questions get answered as we simply just go through the Bible. And so that's what I do in my devotions. And now I'm in Psalm 37. You could always check out the archives at my YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, type in my name in the search. It is that French spelling name, a lot of vowels. Whew, yeah, tons. But you put that in there and you'll come up with my YouTube channel, and there you'll see the videos that I've done. And a lot of books of the Bible, so check it out. And and you could always subscribe to the channel, and whenever I go live, you obviously get a notification, and you go, oh man, Bo's going live. And so I come from Southern California. I'm a SoCal kid, definitely that kid who grew up a lot of parties, a lot of raves, a lot of things, a lot of concerts. Gosh, I remember seeing Jane's Addiction at the John Anson Ford Theater years ago, Fishbone, tons of concerts, reggae festivals, Sunsplash. Just a lot of very Southern California boy. Went to church later on, and never really before, this time, but meaning I didn't grow up in the church at all, but later on I went to Calvary Chapel out in Simi Valley with a pastor named David Guzik. And what a great, good crew he had with him that really helped me out. So Psalm 37, let's get into it. So it says, do not fret because of evil people or be envious of those who do wrong. And it says, for they like grass will soon wither, and like green plants they will soon die away. So this is kind of a popular statement. It's one that's actually reiterated in the New Testament. Like a lot of the Psalms are songs, right? They're songs, written to music. They're quoted in the New Testament. So when you read the New Testament, you're going to find a ton of quotes from the Old. And this is another one. Like grass, we what? It says we wither, right? We are like a plant. We grow, our bodies grow, right? And then they die. And that's just how it goes, We're not liking that too much, that's for sure. We don't feel very comfortable in this world of death. It definitely feels like something's amiss, but this is what we're in. And we are, it's so true. For like grass, we grow and we die. Now it says don't fret. So today, just in my devotion, I just want to think of the day, and I just want to not fret because of, nor be envious. It says because of those who do wrong. Couple things, fretting and envious. Fretting, the idea of being agitated, like a continual agitation, being scratched continually. It's like distractions, right? Things that are fret, cause just a lot of commotion. And it says envious, and envy, man, that's one of the ones I just kind of taught on not too long ago in the church, talking about envy of having this emotion that's ill-willed towards people who gain something. Not only do you want what they have, but you don't want them to have it. And so envy is a real rough emotion that we get as people. Kind of reminds me of a jealousy on steroids in a lot of ways. But both things, I got to check my heart. Am I fretting because of what people are doing in our world all the time? Is that just constantly rubbing me? Is it constantly, just irritating, and is it agitating? Is it getting me? And the idea is that, hey, they're going to grow like a tree and then they're going to die, that like a plant, like a blade of grass. That's the idea. It's like, hey, everybody's got their moment, but you know what? It all comes to an end. It certainly does. So I got to work on fretting. I got to work on not envying, not getting into that mode. Am I at peace? Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and enjoy safe pasture. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. King David is writing this. David's written a lot of these Psalms so far. And he's really, talking about the land of Israel. And remember, there's that whole backstory with Israel being in the land, obeying God, or are they not going to obey God? We see that it has been a tussle, right? As far as, are they really going to obey God or not? And it's Israel's life as a nation is kind of like our life individually with God sometimes. Are we going to obey? Are we not? Are we going to listen? Are we not? Are we going to, that kind of thing. And so Israel, our David's writing this psalm, and he's thinking about the land of Israel. And I love that. Dwell in the land. That's what he says. Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land, and you'll be safe, man. That was the promise, by the way, if you remember. God gave him a promise. If you trust me, you're going to be taken care of. You're never going to go hungry. You're going to be fine. But if you say, nope, I'm going my way, man. I don't care about you, God. I don't care. I don't want to go sacrifice to you. I don't want to pray to you, blah, blah, blah. Then it's going to be chaos, and you know what? If you don't want me, okay, there you go. You can have other authorities. You can have other leaders if that's what you so desire. And we get those, right? And Israel got the leaders they wanted, and it didn't end up good. And so that's the backstory. So David's writing this song thinking about God's promises to Israel if they obey. And he says, man, when we dwell in the land, if we set our heart on God, man, it'll be awesome. And it says, delight yourself in the Lord, and he'll give you the desires of your heart. You want all these things, but remember, delight yourself in the Lord. That was the promise. You come to God, you delight yourself in the Lord, and he'll give you the desires of your heart. What was the desire of Israel's heart? Well, obviously, to dwell in the land safely, to not be in contention with anybody, war, all those things that sometimes we take for granted, like our living quarters, and that we're not in war, in battle. Where, for a lot of years, a lot of people, and even today, it's still like this in a lot of areas. There's a lot of warring going on. A lot of times people aren't at peace. So delight yourself in the Lord, and he'll give you the desires of your heart. You could see how that is important, to put first things first. Where's my delight today? Can I delight in God? Can I delight in the Lord? Can I delight in his ways? Because I know they're right. It's not good to lie. It's not good to cheat. It's not good to steal. It's not good to lust. I know these things. It's not good to have envy. It's not good. These things are going to wreck everything. It's going to wreck a family, wreck a society. Delight yourself in the Lord, putting the Lord first. So it's a famous psalm, by the way. Psalm 37:4 is probably tattooed on a lot of people or on a lot of fridges, right? Delight yourself in the Lord, and he'll give you the desire of your heart. So, is my heart primarily delighting in the Lord? So commit your ways to the Lord, trust him, and he will do this. He will make your righteousness shine like the dawn, the justice of your cause like the noonday sun. He'll take care of you, man. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not fret when men succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes. Refrain from evil and turn from wrath. Do not fret, it leads only to evil, for evil men will be cut off, but those who hope in the Lord will inherit the land. So again, it's talking about those promises about the land. Refrain from evil, refrain from wrath. Don't turn to wrath, don't fret, it only leads to evil. Don't get into wrath, don't get all ticked off, don't start getting violent, that kind of thing. Love your enemy, right? So you get the idea here, that idea of loving your enemy from the negative. Don't have wrath on them. That kind of idea. So the positive is love your enemy. The negative is don't do wrath on people that are your enemy. And so it says, a little while and the wicked will be no more. Though you look for them, they will not be found. But the meek will inherit the land and enjoy peace. Again, that idea of the meek shall inherit the what? The earth. Yeah, Jesus said that. The meek shall inherit the earth. Where did he get that? Well, right here, right? Who's gonna inherit the earth? The meek. Those that have control, can use their power, but in a controlled way. Do I have that? Do I have power, but do I use that power in a controlled way? Do I temper it with humility? Or is it always pride, right? Oh, I'm the person who's in charge. Oh, I'm the one who's got the upper hand, that kind of attitude. Instead of going, no, I've been put in this place of this position of power, but I'm able to do it in a humble way. And I always say, it's humble. You want to walk humbly, confess your sin and pick up a shovel. Both those things will humble you. You confess your sin, put you on par with everybody else. You're no different, no better, no worse. You're just a human being like everybody else. Confess your sin and also pick up a shovel. And the reason why is because when you're digging a ditch, right, when you're sweeping, someone can sweep better, someone can dig a better ditch maybe quicker, but you're all digging. And your success for digging fast is you get to dig another ditch. So it's like, we just dig together, meaning, labor. When we labor together, we're all laboring, right? We're all just focusing on what we're doing, on our laboring. But, so am I humble like that? Am I willing to pick up the shovel? Am I willing to get in with everybody else and get in line and just be one of the diggers? Or am I somehow I'm an elite person, where I need someone to come and take care of me. I need someone to come and wash my desk down because why? I'm too lazy to do it. That's an issue, right? So we can get into this mode, right? Well, am I meek? Do I have meekness going in my life today? Am I able to have that power and put it under control? So, he always contrasts that kind of meek, that strength under control, focused on God attitude with the pride, who's looking to get their own, looking to get over on everybody, not really concerned about God at all. So the wicked plot against the righteous and gnash their teeth at them, but the Lord laughs at the wicked, for he knows that their day is coming, right? And that's true. I got to realize that. Everybody's day is coming. It says, the wicked draw the sword and bend the bow and bring down the poor and needy to slay those who are upright, but their swords will pierce their own hearts and their bows will be broken. So again, contrast. Upright, those looking up, right? Looking up at God, and those that don't care about God, that are just attacking. And that's what we have in societies all the time. People that are upright, looking up, and people that are just attacking, just constant attacks, trying to tear down God, trying to tear down the things of God. And that's how it rolls. I mean, God, when I was growing up, I was a tear downer. I was the guy who was tearing down. I just wanted to avoid God, didn't want anything to do with God. Certainly didn't want to read the Bible, certainly would never go to church. Just that kind of attitude. But not just that attitude, but a real hatred towards it, a real violence towards it. Something in my heart really just really got at me, when it came to those church folk. Better the little that the righteous have than the wealth of many wicked. Hey, that's so true. Do I envy the wealth of those that are what the psalm is saying is wicked? Am I fretting about them? Am I, gosh, why are they getting everything? Why am I not? It's better to have a little and to walk in peace, right? It says, for the power of the wicked will be broken, but the Lord upholds the righteous. The days of the blameless are known to the Lord, and their inheritance will endure forever. Times of disaster they will not wither. In days of famine they will enjoy plenty. So the idea is blessing now on those that are looking upright. In times of disaster, it says, but the wicked will perish, verse 20. The Lord's enemies will be like the beauty of the fields. They will vanish like smoke. Right? Oh, yeah, you got a great boat. Oh, yeah, you got this. Oh, yeah, you got all that. Oh, yeah, it's so great. Oh, man, yeah. It's all just a matter of time before it's all gone, right? So the contrast is the upright is the better, because the upright's the eternal, the horizontal, if you will, just looking horizontally at the world, just getting focused, just not upward, not vertically, but you're looking just horizontally. That is temporal. And so you see that kind of contrast as well. It logically makes sense. If there is a God, then it's most important to understand God and to learn how God has communicated with us. That would be the most important thing to know. The most rational thing for us to do is to find out about that, and to really base decisions off that. To not even look into it, that would be irrational, and that wouldn't make any sense, because the eternal, it would be a better bargain, a better deal than the temporal. And so you always see this kind of contrast, this logic going on. The wicked borrow and do not repay, but the righteous give generously. Hey, if someone gives to you, great, repay your brother, these kind of wonderful ideas that we get from the Bible. Take care of people, pay them back. Don't take advantage of your neighbor, right? Love your neighbor. But have I taken advantage of someone's generosity instead of maybe paying them back or helping them out in a different way, or that kind of idea? It says, those who the Lord blesses will inherit the land, but those he curses will be cut off. If the Lord delights in a man's ways, he makes his steps firm. Though he stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with his hand. So it's kind of cool. Jesus referred to us being held in his hands, also being held in the Father's hands. That's kind of a neat reference to this verse. And then there's another one as well, and the idea in the book of James in the New Testament. It says, we all stumble in many ways. And here you see that even though a righteous person stumbles, right? It seems like God upholds him, that he gets right back up. That idea of continuing on, moving on. It's not that the person that God delights in, the righteous person, this upward person, doesn't stumble. Right? Yeah. It says, though he stumble, he will not fall, right? The idea is like a total down and out, right? God will uphold him. God will take care. And it's good to understand that we all stumble in many ways, right? Yeah. You think of it. You might get the outside of your life licked, but then there's those inward things that you got to deal with, and they can be difficult. So verse 25 says, I was young and now I am old, yet I have never seen the righteous forsaken or the children begging bread. They are always generous and lend freely. Their children will be blessed. The idea of those that have received that blessing in the land, they have an abundance, and they always are generous, people that are looking at God. And it's kind of true even today. You look at those that give the most, right, in the world. All those trips for doctors that go around the world and help people. You look at the different organizations that really help out these people, and man, there's a ton of, nonprofit organizations, faith-based organizations that have given so much money, and they're all a bunch of people that probably don't have a lot of money, but collectively it has really added up and really benefited, and a lot of things have happened through these kind of faith-based organizations. People that really are looking upward tend to give generously, right? Sometimes people that are looking just horizontally tend to hoard their stuff, right? Because they're not looking at the eternal blessing. All they think about is the here and now. And so that's what David observes, even all the way back then. Similar stuff. Everything's the same, right? Nothing really changes over the years. Verse 27, turn from evil and do good. A great command, right? Something that is so good for me to hear. Turn from evil, Bo. Turn from it and do good. You will dwell in the land forever, for the Lord is just and will not forsake his faithful ones. So again, he's talking to Israel. He's talking to those people that are in the land of Israel and saying, hey, you turn from evil, you trust in God's word, and man, there will be a blessing. And that's kind of that idea for all of us too, is, let's look at the book, let's look in the word, let's look upward, and man, God's got something for us in that. God will change our hearts. He'll change our minds about things. We might be going a direction, but as we look to the word, God does an amazing miracle work of changing my heart when I'm surrendered. God, I just surrender to you. I'm going to trust you. Those kind of things. So that's where I want to be today. For as the Lord loves, this is verse 28, for as the Lord loves the just and will not forsake his faithful ones, they will be protected forever, but the offspring of the wicked will be cut off. The righteous will inherit the land and dwell in it forever. The mouth of the righteous man utters wisdom, and his tongue speaks what is just. The law of God is in his heart. So it's good to have the law of God in your heart, right? Nothing's wrong with those 10 commandments being in your heart. His feet do not slip. We tend to be, like an animal that's walking up the rocky mountain, but those that trust in the Lord, our feet stays kind of stuck to that rock. That's kind of the picture. We stay firm. We stay on a solid foundation. A lot of times people don't have a very good foundation. They don't even know what they believe or what they trust in or why they believe what they believe or what's the authority in their life. Yet everybody's trusting someone or something. Everybody has an authority in their life. A lot of us just don't know what it is, and then lo and behold, we get older and we go, oh my God, I'm trusting a government. And well, that's a nightmare. Oh, I'm trusting this or I'm trusting that. And you start, God, I'm trusting that philosopher Aristotle still. Or man, I'm trusting Socrates, or I'm trusting, the more newer philosopher, those kind of things. And that's what you're kind of going off of, is just humans. And the problem is humans, just we are like a blade of grass. We're there one day and we're gone the next. Very temporal. Verse 32 says, the wicked lie in wait for the righteous, seeking their very lives. But the Lord will not leave them in their power, or let them be condemned when they brought to trial. Wait for the Lord and keep his way. He will exalt you to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, you will see it. Kind of that idea is, even if you get taken to court, man, God will be with you. Man, that's a scary thing to think that you can get taken to court by people. Their hatred grows that much, animosity. Just amazing, the resentments and bitternesses of our hearts. I have seen, verse 35, I have seen a wicked and ruthless man flourishing like a green tree in its native soil. But he soon passes away and no more. So he kind of goes back to that idea. Yeah, I seen the rich be rich, but then boom, it all comes crashing down. Consider the blameless, observe the upright. There is a future for a man of peace. But all sinners will be destroyed. The future of the wicked will be cut off. The salvation of the righteous comes from the Lord. He is their stronghold in times of trouble. The Lord helps them and delivers them. He delivers them from the wicked and saves them. because they take refuge in him. That's the big picture, right? Those that come to God, they take refuge in God. They kind of look to God. God becomes their authority. Of course, David's thinking about Yahweh, the true and living God, the one who appeared to Moses, the one who called Abraham, the one who gave the covenant, the law to Moses, the 10 Commandments, etc. And he's saying, hey, those who look upright to Yahweh, God, they're looking at the eternal. They're looking at the better. They're going to their place. You're stepping into the right building. It's solid. It's a house that can stand through everything, through even your death. But there's so many temporal buildings that you can run to, but they ain't going to be able to help you when you die. They're not going to be able to. They don't have a resurrection. They don't have that. They haven't proved that anything. This is why Jesus came, to reveal the invisible God, to reveal the God who is not seen, to answer the question of why can't we see God? Where is God? Jesus came to say there is a God, there is a problem. I've come to reveal that there truly is God. I've come to reveal God and let you know about God. But I've also come to let you know about the big problem, and that is sin, right? The big problem is God is not like you. God is perfect. He's holy, and you are not. And there's a giant separation between us and God. And to bridge that gap, you need forgiveness. You need to be forgiven because the way you live, what's in your mind, what's in your guys' actions is not right. And it's a tough message for a lot of us because we are prideful. We want to think we got it together. And that's what David's seeing, is those that are prideful, that think they got it together, that look at God and kind of flip them, kind of flip them off kind of attitude. And then those that look upright at God and are saying, hey, God, I need you. You're my shield. So that's what I want to do today, is I want to be looking upright. I want to be able to keep my eyes focused on the Lord, not fretting, not envious. Help me get my eyes off all the distraction and really just look to God, right? Because, man, when I look at everything else, that's why we got to be careful with that remote control, because that remote control puts us into a place of fretting, right? Where all of a sudden we want to have wrath. And it says don't have wrath, right? Don't have wrath on those that are doing these things, And that the implication is we need to learn to love. We need to learn how to love people. And so it's a very, very cool psalm. It's a long song, but it's a great theme, throughout it. And I love all the, what's taught in the New Testament is certainly interwoven in this song. So, hey, I hope you guys got that. Very cool. And certainly catch up, Tina. All you got to do is, man, when you're, on a little walk, put me on and you got it. And, or we're doing whatever we're doing, we put it on and get it done. But not just get it done, but really just glean from, what the scriptures say. And that's the beauty of going through it book by book and verse by verse, is we just glean what the scripture says, right? So God help us in these areas, help us to delight ourselves in the Lord, and he'll give us what? The desires of our heart, right? What's the desires of our heart? Is to see God move in our life and for him to be glorified in our life, right? Oh, man, totally. So, okay, cool psalm, and we will talk at you later. Bye-bye.